Ace that interview question you got asked. Welcome, everybody. My name is Anjali. I'm the founder of Narrative, the Business of Stories, a story practice based in Singapore. I'm also the author of Strategic Storytelling, Why Some Stories Drive Your Success at Work and Others Don't. This book is a bestseller on multiple platforms. But this video is about you. How can you ace that interview and answer the question that is asked? Now, a lot of us know the answers, but the ability to be able to answer it well in that moment is what determines our success. Therefore, a clear structure is really, really helpful. So let's take step by step. Number one, you get asked a question. What is the future of our industry? Now, this is a very broad question. You do not need to rush into responding to this. You need to buy yourself a little bit of a time by commenting on the question itself. And please don't say that's a good question, because that's so cliche. So what you have to say is something like this. Oh, given the rate of the change in our industry, I can understand why that question is an important question for you, right? So you can comment on the question itself, get some time, buy some time to structure your thoughts. The second thing you can do is to ask for clarity within the question. So say, for example, someone says to you the same question, talk to us about the future of our industry. Now, if you know your industry, you can say, now the future of our industry is very different if we look at it from the local point of view, which is where we are, because everything is pretty much the stable, but it looks slightly different at a regional, at a global level. So would you like me to give them a point of view from a local point of view, or from the regional or global point of view? One of my favorite examples of asking clarity in a question was actually in one of the beauty pageants where Miss Philippines, Charlene Gonzalez, was asked a question, a factual question, not even an opinion-based question, which was, how many islands does Philippines have? And I want you to watch how she responds to that question and earns herself a huge applause from the audience. Okay, so you see how you can ask further clarity within the question. Another example of this would be, the other day I saw a healthcare practitioner who was asked about what do we do about diabetes, and he said, well, there is a lifestyle point of view on this, and then there is a clinical point of view on this, and because I'm a clinician, I will talk to you more about the clinical point of view. I hope that's what you wanted to know. Please let me know. Or you're looking at it from a lifestyle, which I think the other panelists like nutritionists and dietitians on this panel can actually help you better. So it's important to ask further clarity. Why? It's not because you don't know how to answer. It's because it shows how much you know your subject when you have the capability of asking further about the question. Okay, so we've done 2 steps so far. Comment on the question itself, like, I can see why the question is important for you given the rate of the change in our industry. Number 2, ask for further clarity within the question. We saw the Miss Philippines example in that. Number 3, structure your thoughts into 3. It doesn't matter which 3. We often think I want the best 3, but it really doesn't matter which 3. Structure your thoughts into 3. For example, same question. What is the future of our industry? You'll say, okay, I'd like to give my point of view about the future of our industry from 3 perspectives. Product innovation perspective, skills development perspective, and maybe from the talent point of view. So you can structure your thoughts. I swear I didn't know what those 3 things would be as I was recording. I just came up with those. People want you to be clear about your thoughts. Nobody actually knows which are the best 3. So you just have to be able to structure your thoughts into 3. So take 3. Sometimes you can also go, in the past, our industry was placed like this. Today it's placed like this. And in future, I see it like this, right? So then also you're structuring in 3, past, present, and future. Or you can pick 3 different areas. You can pick skill, you can pick talent, you can pick innovation from those 3 point of views. Once you've structured your thoughts into 3s, you are then going to give one-liner per area. So from a skill development point of view, I think that AI skills will become fundamental for everybody who works within our industry. So what it is to email today, it'll be to be able to use AI tomorrow. So, you give one line on a skills perspective. Talent perspective, you would say that, we can't expect to keep hiring new talent from outside. So we are going to have a really good strategy on creating talent pool from universities when students are still in universities, to actually start engaging them for when they come out, because not everybody would be skilled in the kind of skills that we need, because the skills in our industry would be changing. And from a product innovation point of view, I think the next growth that we see is really in merging the product with XYZ, whatever that might be. So you just give 3 points that you said, and you give one line about each one of them, right? Okay, now the next thing I'd like you to do is to then see, out of the 3 that you have mentioned, which is the one that you are most comfortable with, right? You're most comfortable with, that you can tell a real story about. For example, from a skills development point of view, you could tell a story about that and say, okay, I'd like to elaborate on one of those points. For example, the skills development point of view. A few years ago, we were working on a project, and when this project came to life, we realized that 90% of the skills that we needed for this project were not there. So we went on this hiring spree first, which took 6 months for us to hire the right kind of people and form the right kind of the team. And the sad thing about that was that by the time that full team had come to being, like there was a full team, the product that we wanted to work on had already been developed by the competitor, and we were so behind in terms of entering the market. So I think we can't wait for this thing that we are now going to go get a team. We always have to be forming a team, networking with skilled people, going to universities and creating that pool where we can get the right people as and when we need. So you can tell a short story there. So very quick revision, everyone. Number 1, comment on the question itself. Like, I can see why that question is an important question for you. Oh, this question is one of the most asked questions when it comes to our industry, because the rate of the change is just so fast in our industry, and I can understand why it is an important question for you. Please don't ever say that's a good question. Second thing is that you ask for clarity within the question, and it shows your depth of knowledge. So you kind of say that there are various aspects to that question. Would you like me to comment on this or that? Okay, then you structure your thoughts into 3. You have future of our industry from skills development, talent, talent we have, or from a product innovation point of view. Then you're going to give one line about each, and then you'll say, let me elaborate a little bit on the point that I'm really interested in, which is the skills development point, and how we're going to get the right kind of skill, or talent development, on where we're going to find the right talent. And then you tell a short story about how you formed your point of view on that. If you have this structured approach, then you will be able to interview really, really well. Now, what I want you to do today, if you are getting ready for an interview, and that is why you're watching this video, is to think about at least 5 questions that you will be asked in that interview. If you don't know, just go into GPT and type what are some of the popular questions, and follow the structure and prepare for all 5. Now, the beauty of this preparation is that when you go into that interview and you're asked a question, from this preparation, you will be able to answer any question you've asked, because you've done a very wide preparation. The truth about any place where you are being sort of assessed is this: a large amount of what you say is about how you articulate, because your articulation is a demonstration of your thinking, and clear thinking leads to clear communication. Hope that helps. Do subscribe to our channel if you want more tutorials and tips on communication, mostly on strategic storytelling. Stay storied, and I'll see you here for the next one very soon.